And by the way, whoever asked why I have so many saves, this is why I have so many saves. For situations like this when I want to practice or explain some stuff, it's really nice. Okay, so if you're in a run, they wouldn't be at full HP here, but since we loaded this from a save, we're just going to go ahead and crit them down. Alright, and again, sometimes you won't get the full crit, you just need to hit them again, no problem. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and bring out Vaughn. At this point in time, Bosch usually has all the good equipment, so you're going to want to take all of that equipment off and put it on Vaughn. Make sure that you leave the golden amulet on Bosch, though, because even though he's not in the battle, he still will get LP, which is not the worst thing in the world by any means. So you do want to leave the golden amulet on for that. Alright, so with Vaughn, you're going to want to go ahead and hit the Waystone. Now this fight is extremely trolly. Not only does Shemhazai not have a set AI, but Shemhazai also has a very high chance of critting because she uses a gun. Okay, so once you're here, this is the screen before the Shemhazai fight. If Vaughn was in your party while you were critting Ash and Pinello, you would need to make sure that his mirror mail is on so that he doesn't get hit by the crit. But since we already have Ash and Pinello critted, you're going to want to go ahead and take off his mirror mail. And then at this point you would have, I guess, yeah, we can go ahead and cast Protect on Vaughn and then Decoy on Vaughn as well. Alright, once both of those land, you want to put back the mirror mail, and this is an extremely important step. You need to make sure that Vaughn does not have the flame staff on, or just for all intents and purposes, any weapon. And then finally, make sure that Ash and Pinello's, well, yeah, we don't use ruby rings with this strat, so they're fine. So just make sure that you get their reflex on, and then once their reflex land and they're not targeted anymore, you take them out of the party. All right, and here we go. Okay, so the first move of this fight, you need to pay very close attention. If Shemhazai ends up using Siphon or Silence, you're gonna want to not bring out Ash and Pinello as soon as possible. Otherwise, what you're gonna want to do is walk up to Shemhazai, and we can see that Shemhazai. Well, I messed up. Pardon me. I'm not sure, Fire Striker. I mean, I couldn't confirm that by any means, but I'm not sure. That might be true. Okay, since we loaded this from a save, Ash and Pinello are going to be at full health. And at this time, also, Bosch has all the good equipment, so what you're going to do is remove all of that and optimize Vaughn. It would be a good idea to leave the golden amulet on Bosch, since you do get LP, even though you're not in the fight. So then, once you bring out Vaughn, you're going to have Pinello cast a Thundara on Ash to crit them. And since Vaughn has the mirror mail on, he won't get hit by this. Alright, once they're critted, you can go ahead and hit the Waystone. Alright, so this is the room before Shemhazai. What you're going to want to do here is remove Vaughn's mirror mail, so that he is eligible for buffs. You're going to have Ash and Pinello cast Reflect on themselves. Alright, once those are up, then you're going to have Vaughn cast Protect on himself and Ash cast Decoy on Vaughn rather. Once both of those land, you're going to want to put on his Mirror Mail again and make sure that he is not using any weapon. That's just the safe way to do this, and I'll explain why in a minute. But you need to make sure he has no weapon on going into the fight. And then finally, you're going to remove Ash and Pinello and make sure that their gambits are on going into the fight. And then other than that, we'll go ahead and throw a high potion here just so that Vaughn has a little bit more HP. You could maybe get away with it without doing it, but just as a safety thing, we're going to go ahead and have him go in at full HP. Okay, so as soon as the fight starts, you're going to want to need to cast Immobilize on Shemhazai. As soon as the fight starts. Now, if you notice that Shemhazai is going to start casting Silence, you need to not bring out Ash and Pinello. But if she does anything other than Silence, you need to get to about here and bring in Ash and Pinello. They need to go ahead and start casting their bios. So once the Immobilize goes off, you're going to want to run away like this. So what's going to happen here is that Vaughn won't be able to get hit, but he's still targeted. So Shemhazai did start off with Siphon. Siphon pretty much depletes all of your MP. And something that has to happen during this fight is that Vaughn needs to at least hit recast Decoy on himself at least one more time. So hopefully, if everything goes okay here, you can regenerate MP by walking around. This is a high mist room, so you're going to regenerate MP pretty quickly. So once you have enough, just go ahead and try to cast Decoy back on Vaughn. Oops, okay. He has his Mirror Mail on. You need to remove Mirror Mail. Obviously, the spell isn't going to land. That's a mistake on my part. So then, at this point, this is when you're going to want to cast Decoy. Alright. It missed. So we'll try it again. Alright, so now it's back on. You should be good to go. As long as you get it back on at least one more time before she starts targeting someone else, you should be good to go. If you want to cast one more for safety, you can. It's not going to really lose any time or hurt you or anything, but yeah, once that second one lands, you're pretty much good to go. And then you pretty much just let the ladies cast their bios, and depending on how quickly you immobilize Shemhazai, she can potentially start moving again before the fight's done, but even if she kills Vaughn, the final bios should finish her off really quickly. So that's the Shemhazai fight. And again, just the important thing is just to make sure that if, if Silence starts to go off, you really don't want that to hit Ash or Pinello, so just make sure that that doesn't happen. But other than that, yeah, that's Shemhazai. Pretty easy fight again, as long as everything goes right and you do everything right. And the other thing to be sure of, again, Shemhazai uses a gun. Guns crit very easily. So you really need to make sure that, if Vaughn does get hit, try to make it so that he can have another more HP before he gets hit again. Otherwise, you'll die. And if Vaughn dies, he has Decoy on, so therefore Ash or Pinello will get hit instead, and then you'll die. So yeah, that's the Shemhazai fight.